What's poppin'? It's your girl Jazzy J. How y'all doing today? Welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, welcome. If not, what is up, Buttercup? I'm sure you guys have noticed, but I am wearing a face mask. It is the face mask. I apologize for the bottle. I have gone through some things. It's called Space Face Triple Action 2 Battle Atmospheric Pollution Minimal Rich Metallic Charcoal Malachite and Olivine Detox Face Mask. The reason why I'm wearing a face mask. Today is Sunday, which means it's a segment on my channel called Dear Diary WTF, where I talk about whatever I want to. And today I decided it's time for some self-care. It's time for some self-love. And I'm going to talk about how I didn't love myself pretty much until my 20s. And I'm going to be doing a face mask because the skin is important. If you want to know, this is what the bottle looks like. I apologize if you can't really see it all too well. It's from a company called Perfectly Posh. I used to do consultant work for them. I do not anymore because I didn't really make any money from it. I would be careful if you're good at consultant work, you can go ahead and work for them in like skincare products because people always want to use skincare products. This is 100% vegan. No animal cruelty was involved in this. No, this is not sponsored. I wish it were. Maybe I could get sponsored from them. But be careful with them because it is probably another form of an MLM or a pyramid scheme. So unless you're like super good at that work and you know for a fact that you can climb the ranks like super quickly so that you can make your money, yeah, just find a consultant and buy from them, okay? Or better yet, just go to a store. But when I was working with them for a short amount of time, I bought their products. I love their products. Their products are actually good. They're good products. But yeah, so I'm gonna have this on for like a solid 10-15 minutes, something like that, until it's completely dry. And then I'll take it off and I might have it on the whole video. I might not. We'll see how that goes. As a woman of color, which I'm clearly very colorful right now, I grew up in a multicultural society, in a place that was designed to be multicultural. Like when they were actually building the town that I was in, they expected to have walks from all life living here. That being said, when I was born, I saw a lot of people on television, like other people, other women of color, and just people of color in general. A lot of white people on television, a lot of white people in music. A lot of my friends were white. If I had any friends in elementary school and preschool, I really didn't have any friends because I did gymnastics, but because I did gymnastics, I didn't have time for things like Girl Scouts. And to be honest, I didn't care that I couldn't do Girl Scouts. It wasn't really my cup of tea anyway. But not the girls, but the parents of the girls in elementary school hated the fact that I was not part of the clique, that I was doing something different, and somehow that made me worse. And it wasn't based off of my skin color, it was simply because I wasn't part of Girl Scouts. And because of that, I was not invited to birthday parties, I wasn't invited to sleepovers, I wasn't invited to hang out to people's houses, I wasn't invited to really anything. And even if I were to invite somebody to something that I was hosting, almost nobody would show up. That's pretty much how my childhood went. And then, because I didn't see any black girls with their natural hair out, I didn't know what to think of mine. And at a very young age, I can't actually remember, probably 5 or 6 or something like that, maybe a little older, I got my first relaxer. So for as long as I could remember, my hair was straight, but it never looked like the little white girl's hair. Never. It was just straight. It wasn't long. I didn't think it was pretty. I always thought there was something wrong, especially when it rained, because then it would get all frizzy, and I was like, why is her hair all soft and my hair is just like meh? That affected me pretty much until I was 19 and I decided to cut off all of my hair, because that was back in 2016, around May of 2016 is when the natural movement started picking up, and I was just like, I want to do that. I want to have hair like that. That's what my hair should look like. And so the end of it, basically what had happened was there was a chunk of my hair that had broken off. I think I talked about this before, but there was a chunk of my hair that had broken off and disappeared, and I got extremely self-conscious about it, and my parents didn't help, more specifically my mother, because she was like, ooh, this is ugly, you're just gonna make it bigger, and you need to have the relaxer, because the relaxer is gonna help your hair grow, and yada yada yada, and all this misinformation and BS, and yada yada yada. And then I got to the point where I was just so stressed out that I cut it all off. Now, was I like super bald, super short? No, because even my hairdresser was just like, nah, right, we ain't gonna do that. So I wasn't like bald, but my hair was pretty short. But yeah, going back to when I was younger, a lot of my influences came from my parents, just like it come for anyone else. And I had to dress a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way, present myself a certain way, and none of it included black culture. None of it. My parents were dead set. They don't want that ratchet, that ghetto, that black way of living. It was very white centric. And because of that, even though I knew I was black, I had a severe identity crisis. I'm not gonna say it's as much as a mixed individual, but it was pretty bad because I don't know my ancestry, just like a lot of black people in America. I didn't know my family and my relatives because my father had pretty much cut off the relatives on his side. And my mother, the relatives on her side were, good God, you know how families always have drama, and then you got some people trying to cause drama and some people who are okay, and it was just so much, and a lot of the people in my family just looked mixed. They are mixed, actually. My favorite cousins, absolutely adorable. I love them with all my heart. The mother married into the family, she is my favorite cousin. She is Filipino. My cousin that she married is black, so her children are half Filipino, half black. Cutest things. I absolutely love them. They're they're younger than me, so I didn't have the chance to grow up with them. And a lot of my cousins didn't talk to me or my brother. They didn't talk to either of us. They didn't want to talk to either of us. And then when it was convenient for them, as if they thought they were going to get something out of talking to us, that's when they would talk to us. So I didn't really have any other Black influence except for like the jazz music that my father would listen to growing up. And that was kind of it. Because of that, I didn't have any role models. A lot of kids growing up say, well, I have a role model of this person. I have a role model of that person. I have a role model of this. I have a role model of that. Yada, yada, yada. I didn't have that. I didn't have a role model. And I didn't see my parents as a role model. I never saw them as a role model. Maybe when I was like a baby, a toddler. But when I started to think for myself, I was just like, no. And then my role model ended up being a white woman. Not the best thing for a Black child with an identity crisis. I didn't know about my ancestry. I didn't know about my culture. I remember I asked my mother for a DNA test, not a DNA test, a genealogy test for my college graduation. It was going to be from 21andMe, and now I know people are probably going to say, well, that's not the most reliable and this and that, and you shouldn't have used that, and you probably could have used something else. I know, but like at the same time, that was pretty decent. No, that didn't happen. They told me that like, well, you're Black. Okay, you're white. Gathered that. You have Native Indigenous in you. I'm like, really? And they're like, and there might be something else, but that's kind of it. I'm like, that's my ancestry? You're not gonna have me take a genealogy test? They're like, well, yeah, that's what your grandmother told you and your great-grandmother. I'm like, you do know these people lie. People lie. Okay. So that's kind of how I figured out my genealogy, except that might not be true. So I'm just kind of walking around like, I don't know what I am. No. So I didn't know. That was another part that led to an identity crisis, because I couldn't even trace back to, okay, this is where I was from in Africa. This is probably the tribe that I could have been from, or one of these like multiple tribes that I could have been from. Or maybe even if not that much, I could have been like, okay, this right here, these are the countries that I could have been from. I can start to learn about these countries. I can start to embrace the culture from these countries. Maybe I'll be able to go and visit, and now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. So when I eventually get more money, I will be doing just that. I'll be getting a genealogy test and putting it onto here. Wait. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I could probably tell you guys what it is if I figure it out ever, but I probably won't be like, hey, go post it up here, because people are wild nowadays. I don't need that type of information on the internet. Right. So all of this was going on, and I pretty much hated my skin, hated my hair, hated my lips, hated my eyes, hated my body, because I did gymnastics. And one thing that was very, very demeaning to me growing up, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was told to suck in my butt and suck in my stomach. You know how kids have a little pot belly because organs. There are organs there, not because they're fat, just because they have organs and it's pretty natural to just relax your stomach. I was told to suck in my stomach to make it look flat. Why? Because it looked like I had swallowed a basketball. It looked like I had swallowed a watermelon. It looked like I was pregnant. It looked like I was pregnant. And that is not something that you tell to a 6 or 7-year-old who's already having an identity crisis and doesn't feel like they can trust you anyway. Yeah. So I had to learn very quickly how to suck in my stomach. So now I have an issue that I've been sucking in my stomach for the past probably for the past 13-14 years. It's gotten to the point where if I let my stomach out, it literally feels like my organs are falling out of place. And it's painful. It's painful. And then I was told to suck in my butt. I don't know how you do that. I don't know. Because even when I was younger, I was nothing but pure muscle. I don't know how you suck in muscle to make yourself look like a stick. Like a board. Basically telling me to somehow get rid of your black features. Don't walk like a duck. Stuck in your stomach. Make sure your chest is in. Put your shoulders back. You have to walk a certain way. And I'm like, but I can't do that. I forced myself to suck in my stomach because that was the one thing that I could do. Like, I couldn't suck in my butt. I couldn't make myself smaller. I couldn't make myself skinnier. I couldn't do that. So when I got to college and I was still trying to do that way, I met some girls and they're just like, relax, like, you need to relax. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with having a butt. You're black. There's nothing wrong with having a stomach. You're human. Just relax. And nobody had told me that for that many years. I was just, a lot of hate, a lot of self-hate. I was suicidal. I have depression. I was diagnosed with depression from the doctor. I have social anxiety. I was not diagnosed with social anxiety, but I have some severe panic attacks and very large crowds of people, even smaller crowds of people where I don't know anybody, I will have a panic attack. So I know that I have social anxiety and probably a little bit of regular anxiety as well. But that's okay. That's all hereditary stuff. Anyway, my opinion about my body and my life and my outtake on life really changed when I started to spend a lot more time with black people. I don't think parents understand at a very young age that when a person of color is growing up, they actually need to be around other people who look like them. Or they're going to have a severe identity crisis that they're not really going to understand until they're much, much older. And then it's to the point where it's just kind of like, you're broken. Because you don't know what it's like to be around people that look like you. And it's just awkward and strange. And thankfully, the girls that I had met, the women that I had met, were very kind and very understanding and very much true to themselves. And I was just like, this is how I should act. This is how I should be. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the people that I had met in high school, where I do have some of my friends that I still talk to. Really only two. I mean, I occasionally talk to a few others, like sprinkled here and there, but like I really only talk to two other people. I really learned to love myself in college. And that's what made me want to cut off my hair. I was just like, I mean, the whole natural movement, yes, but if I really, truly, honestly, if I had still spent time around white people, I wouldn't have cut off my hair. I wouldn't have had the strength to do that on my own, especially from my mother, where I told her that I wanted to cut off my hair, and in response, I got, well, your hair's gonna be ugly, your hair's gonna be nappy, you're not gonna know what to do with it. This is coming from a black woman, mind you. You're never gonna get a job because nobody's gonna like your hair. You're gonna give up in the shortest amount of time. You're gonna come back to a relaxer because you're gonna realize that the relaxer is actually good for you. And this and that and the other. And this is just a phase. You'll be fine. You'll get through it. That was my support from my own mother. I'm sure I've said this before, but I think you can see where this is going again. I don't like her. I don't like my parents. I don't care for my family all too much. There are some people in my family that I'm okay with, like my cousins and my grandparents, and I do love my brother, but the rest, no. Very toxic individuals, very, very toxic, and I've had the hardest time with that, and I learned how to love my lips, I learned how to love my skin, and if you're questioning, like sitting there like, well, Jasmine, how did you learn how to love yourself? I literally looked in the mirror every single day and I was just like, you're beautiful. You are beautiful, and there's absolutely nothing to hate about your body. Nothing, okay? There's somebody out there who likes this. And even if they don't, you like this. Because you wouldn't have this body otherwise. I love this body. I love myself. I'm not in love with myself. I'm not narcissistic. But I love myself. And it took some time. It did. I'm still learning how to love myself, but it's a lot better than when it was growing up. I'm able to look in the mirror and be like, you're beautiful. You're a beautiful individual. And you deserve love without struggle, especially as a black woman. Especially. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to treat yourself. You deserve to be around people who love you for you and actually want you to be around and can see the beauty in you. And I limited the people who I talked to, where if they tried to force something on me that I didn't like, I was just like, hold up, stop, I don't like that. We're gonna rewind. We're not gonna do that, okay? We're not gonna do that. And that was it. And now I'm very, very happy with who I am. I don't really have panic attacks anymore. I'm very confident in myself. I'm very confident in standing up, to the point where I model. I do modeling. If you want to follow me on that page, I can go ahead and link that down in the comments, the description box below, and you guys can check that out. I'm very proud of where I started. I'm very proud of where I've come from and where I am right now. And I want to continue to love myself, and I want to make sure that little girls like me and like other people find the chance to be able to love themselves and don't have an identity crisis. And for those parents out there who are really questioning, well, how do I make sure that my child doesn't have an identity crisis? Introduce them to the culture that they are supposed to be in. Tell them that this is your ancestry. This is where you come from. And if they're a mixed child, this is where you come from, and this is where you come from. This is your culture. Embrace both sides. You are not just white. You are not just black. You are both. And you are beautiful and you deserve love. Okay? You do. You absolutely positively do. And showing yourself self-love, even if it's just putting on a face mask and just sitting down for a day and be like, yes, I deserve this. Maybe having a glass of wine, having a bubble bath and watching your favorite Netflix, yes. Making yourself some popcorn, okay. Tip on the popcorn, I don't have an air popper and I don't make microwave popcorn. I use the old-fashioned way, and I use a skillet, and I just put down some grapeseed oil or avocado oil. Turns out that if you heat up olive oil to a certain temperature, it's actually toxic. So you're only supposed to use it to like drizzle on top of things as a flavor component. You're not actually supposed to use it to heat up anything. Didn't know that. Found that out through research. Yeah, that's important. Don't use olive oil to fry or to heat up at all, or to sear or anything, because it's toxic. So just use like avocado oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, whatever other oil besides olive oil, okay? Pour in the popcorn seeds, pop it all up. Once you're done, I like to do an herb. Okay, so I do a little salt, little pepper, parsley, thyme, dill, basil, rosemary. Heat that all up in some grapeseed oil in the microwave, mix it all together and pour it all over my popcorn. Just mix it up, and very delicious. I've done one, because I'm from Maryland, a little Old Bay or a little Cajun seasoning, okay? No salt because it already has it in there. Little pepper, a little garlic powder, some Old Bay or a Cajun seasoning, which are not the same, but if you have one or the other, that's fine. Go ahead and put that in the microwave, heat that on up, and then just pour that over top. Mix, mix, mix. Delicious, okay? For those who like savory. If you are into the sweet route, then you can do some butter and brown sugar and mix that all up, or melt down the butter in the microwave, pour the brown sugar in, mix that all up, pour that over the popcorn. Yeah, pretty much got yourself instant kettle corn without the mess going into the pot. I think it's pretty good. And make sure you have more butter than brown sugar, because you want it to be thin. You don't want it to like clump everywhere. You want to be able to toss it and it'll be good. And the last one, of course, is cheese, which I don't eat cheese. I don't eat dairy. So the sugary ones, I don't do that anymore. Well, I don't care for sweet things anyway, but you can do little salt, little pepper into some butter, add in a little one herb that you like. My favorite personally is parsley, so I would add in a little bit of parsley, drizzle that on top, and then pour in some Parmesan cheese. Pour the Parmesan cheese over top, or maybe if you have like that might be a bit too heavy. I was gonna say cheddar cheese, but that might be a little bit too heavy. So I would say pour over some Parmesan cheese, keep going, mix, mix, mix. If you need to pour over some more, mix, mix, mix. You got a variety of popcorns. And even if you don't like seasonings all too much, you can just take that popcorn in and of itself, just the popcorn and the way it was cooked and whatever oil you use, and just eat that straight. That's a pretty solid dessert for some self-care. It's pretty simple and pretty easy too, and it's really fast to cook. But yeah, that's just me. I like popcorn, so many options that you can go from. If you like this video, hang on. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope this helped somebody. Especially with finding who they are and realizing that you're not alone in the struggle. Okay? You're not. And if you ever want to reach out to me, I'll link my Instagram right here, or you can go ahead and drop it down in the comments below and I will reach out to you. Yeah, so if you like this video, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below if you want to see more videos like this or you have a suggestion for a video. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button, which is somewhere down there, so that you help a girl out, because I need my subscribers. Would love that. Click on the bell button so that you know when I post another video. Share the crap out of this video, because even if it's not for me, there is somebody out there who is having issues with self-love, and I think it's very important that they know they're not alone. Yes, that is important. Okay? That's it. That's all I have. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.